Hi, this is Lou, welcome to my channel, and today I'm going to be painting a really simple pattern of watercolour shapes. This is one that I painted last week when I was trying out a new paintbrush, and I just wanted something really simple just to get me to get some marks on the paper and to see how the brush functioned. And I posted the results to Instagram and you really liked them, so I thought I'd recreate it here for a video and show you how I made it. So today I'm working on Ochre's watercolour paper. I know it's French, so I'll probably say Arche, but it doesn't sound right when I say it. So yeah, this is cold pressed paper, and I've just marked a little border, 1.5 centimetres. I'm just going to work and leave a little white border around the edge, just because I like the look. I've got some watercolours here. I've got Payne's Grey, Indigo Blue, Quniacridone Gold, Yellow Ochre and Buff Titanium. And then to add some detail at the end, I've got this palette of gold paints. So this is a Gerstaeker palette, and I'm going to be using the red gold. I'm going to move that out of the way for now because I won't need it until later. I've got 2 brushes today. This one's a new one, so I'm trying it out. It's called a Raphael Precision brush, and I wanted it because I wanted one that would hold a lot of water but would come to a nice fine point and would give me a lot of control. And this is a size 8, and I've used it a few times, had it for about a week and really like it so far. It could be a new favourite. And then to add the gold details, I've got a little Gerstaeker detail brush. This is number 2. So I've created a little grid at the top and bottom of my paper, and I've just marked every 2 centimetres. So I'm going to talk you through the process, but it's really quite simple. So I'll just talk you through the first few that I do, and then I'm just going to speed it up and let you watch the pattern forming on the page. So I've mixed a few of the colours onto my palette here, and I've just kind of put them next to one another and allowed them to slightly run into one another. And I'm just going to take the colours and then bring them over here and start drawing circles. Now my circles don't have to be exact and they don't have to be neat, but the reason I did the little grid along the top is just so that I can roughly get them about the right size. So I'm going to start top left corner, do 1, and then I'm just going to change my colour for every circle that I do. So the beauty about this is that it doesn't matter which colour you pick. If you just pick a nice little palette of colours that all work together, you can mix any of them and they're going to look good together. Now I'm going to go in with a little bit more of a yellow, and where it touches that blue, it'll just pick up some of that pigment from the next circle along. So I use the tip of my brush to create the outline of the circle, not really worrying about what the inside looks like, and then I can just fill it in with the same colour. If I want to, I can add some dots of other colours into that circle just to change the colour up a little bit. And it's really fun to play with different colours and to see kind of what versions of the different pigments do. So you'll find that some colours are really kind of quite strong and powerful, and they'll bleed into the other ones quite aggressively almost. Sometimes there's almost like a whoosh as they fill the space next to them, and that's quite fun. I want to make sure that all my circles touch, so if I start drawing a circle and it doesn't quite touch the next one, then I'll go back and just expand it a little bit. Now I've arranged my first line so that there's room for 7 whole circles and then 1 half circle on the end. So I'm just going to try and paint this as a half circle. There we go. So now I can do the next row. I can start over here, or I can start over here and work backwards. It doesn't really matter. The only thing is that it's kind of the paint is drying over here. So if I paint these ones, then they're not really going to mix well with the ones above them. If I start painting these ones here, they're going to run into the next kind of circle. So let's do that. And I'm going to put the next row like halfway in between the previous row of circles. And it can be a little bit tricky to kind of fit them in. And sometimes you end up kind of making like more squashed circles than round ones. But that's okay. If you just keep going, those little weird shaped circles, they'll kind of just make it, they'll give it character. Let's go in with some nice indigo blue here. So this is a really good exercise if you want to play with different pigments and different colours and see how they behave and how they mix with one another. I really love some of these pigments. The indigo blue is one of my favourites. And I really like the way that the buff titanium kind of mixes with things and makes them creamy. And I've used different mixes with some of the circles. Some I've used more water, and you can tell the difference with a one that's got a lot more water to one where the paint has much thicker consistency. And there's things that you notice about the different pigments, like the Quniacridone gold I use is a really nice colour. If I use it with a lot of water mixed in and I use it quite wet, then it's a really kind of quite limey yellow. But if I don't put a lot of water into it and I use it quite thick, it's actually more of like a golden brown colour almost. There's a real difference in the way it looks just by adding different amounts of water. The other thing I found making this pattern is that no matter how hard I try, the circles on the right always end up bigger than the circles on the left. So I just have to keep noticing that tendency and trying to correct it a little bit as I go down the page. And then again, when I get back to this corner, I can do a little half circle. So I'm just going to keep painting, keep moving down the page, and I'm going to speed this all up so you can watch the watercolour flow. I'm now going to add some little lines into my circles, not all of them, just the odd one. I'm just going to keep going, dotting around the page and adding them until I feel like it's got a nice like distribution. I'm going to use this red gold paint, and I'm just adding some water into it, and it starts out a little watery, but then as you mix it, it gets kind of a little bit thicker and like quite creamy. So you get the right consistency of the paint, and you get a lovely kind of gold finish on the surface. So I'm going to do just some straight lines. I'm going to do some upright, some horizontal, and then some like left or right, kind of following the line of the circles that I've put in. And these are really simple, just parallel lines. Let's go back and fill this side of the circle too. Okay, one done. Now to go on and fill in some more. So here's my completed piece. Let me hold it up to the light and you can see the gold. I want it to be subtle, but just something a little bit different. So you've got all of these round shapes. So the stripes just kind of add a different like element to it, slightly different shape. And I like the way that the gold catches the light. So as with all of my paintings, if you have a go at something like this, then I'd love to see your version of it. So yeah, so you can post it on Instagram, tag me at Lou Rachel Davis and I'll see it. And yeah, so thank you for sharing all of the works with me that you've made so far. If you like this video, then give it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more from me, then do subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you again very, very soon. Bye bye.